Last week we talked about heat and what heat was. This week we're going to talk about heat transfer methods. How does heat move around? Since heat is basically energy stored in molecules. Well, there are three primary methods through which heat moves: conduction, convection, and radiation. Conduction is just heat going through matter. Conduction is because as you heat up, let's say you take a bar of metal and you begin heating it up on one end. Well, the molecules in that bar of metal on that end are now moving faster, and they collide into the ones next to them, which shifts heat down the bar, and it just keeps moving, like here in this picture, through the concrete, right, or through the floor. Heat is slowly making its way down through here. If we were to look at this as a brigade of firefighters trying to move water, and they've all got buckets, it would be a matter of, oh, I'm going to hand my bucket to the next person, and then I'm going to take another bucket, and we're just going to move buckets over like this. That's conduction, all right? That's conduction. We're just moving the buckets from person to person. Another way that we move heat is through convection. Convection is microscopic movement of fluid. Convection is what we use when we have our air conditioning, right? If we look at convection here, convection is the air flowing and moving around, right? Convection is more like, okay, I'm back to the firefighter thing, but I'm going to take my bucket and I'm going to carry it all the way over here and put it on the fire. Then I'm going to go back and get another bucket and carry it all the way over here and put it on the fire. That's convection, all right? And then there's radiation. Radiation is much more like, I'm going to stand over here, all right? I'm going to stand over here and I'm going to use a fire hose to spray water all the way over there. That's radiation. Radiation is usually in the form of infrared. That's usually what we feel when we feel heat, right? And again, one of the things that I pointed out last time, we don't feel temperature, we feel heat flow. So we feel heat flowing into us or out of us, and we interpret that as temperature, but it's not the same thing. And I'm going to post a little lab exercise for you to do on your own about experiencing that and make some comments about that. So we've got our three main things: conduction, which is heat flowing through a material by molecules banging into each other; convection, which is heat moving around in the space as air moves around in the space; and radiation, right? Radiation. Another example of convection would be you're trying to run a hot bath, and you've got cold water in it, and you are you're running the hot water now to try and warm it up. Well, you could use conduction, which is basically waiting for the heat to spread out from where you're running the hot water, or you can stir the water up and use convection to even out the temperature much quicker. So there we go: conduction, convection, and radiation. All right. We're going to move on in another video to talk about other aspects of this and begin looking at what this means in terms of your home.